Welcome to this audio-descriptive guide to the Guildhall's Great Hall and its memorials. I'm Elaine Lillian Joseph, a black woman born in Birmingham, with parents hailing from Jamaica and St. Kitts in the Caribbean. This is one of 3 audio descriptions available at the Guildhall. They will each take about 5 minutes to listen to. Once the site of a Roman amphitheatre in AD 70, the Guildhall has been through many transformations. Home to the City of London Corporation, the Guildhall is still the centre of government in the city. Dating from the 14th century, the Great Hall is the oldest surviving part of the Guildhall and the oldest secular building in the City of London. I enter through high arched double doors at the western end. The vast hall stretches ahead for 46 metres, carpeted in a regal red. A slight stiffening in my body is a reflex to the awed hush of this place, steeped in the history of Britain and Empire, displaying ancient craftsmanship. It has an ethereal quality I associate with the cathedral, a place to quietly worship. The Gothic architecture even suggests a church. The north and south walls to the left and right are lined with pillars rising up to support a series of stone arches which span the space. They soar above my head to a height of 27 metres. Warm amber light glows from 8 chandeliers hanging from the lofty timber ceiling. Daylight is diluted by Gothic stained glass windows. At the eastern wall of the hall, opposite where I entered, is a dais, a platform raised on 4 steps. The upper part of this wall is filled with a magnificent stained glass window with ornate stone tracery. More windows fill the spaces between the pillars in the longer walls. 2 of the windows are emblazoned with the names of all 692 former Lord Mayors of London, dating back to 1189, and the monarchs they served under. In fact, for over 800 years, the Lord Mayor-elect has been officially admitted as Lord Mayor in this very room, in a ceremony conducted almost entirely in silence. All around the hall are the red, gold and silver crests, shields, banners and mottos of livery companies. Central to city life for centuries, known as guilds, their number currently stands at 110. First ranked is the Worshipful Company of Mercers, dating from at least 1394, whose banner hangs here, along with 12 other livery companies. Known as the Great 12, they held a powerful and influential position in city life. Turning back to face the door where I entered, above it is a dark wooden balcony spanning the width of the hall. A figure stands either end, 2 bearded giants with fierce expressions. They are Gog and Magog, the mythical guardians of the City of London. 3 metres tall and crafted from lime wood, they are clad in golden armour. This room isn't always a place of reverential quietness. It also hosts civic assembly meetings and corporate events. Every year, the Lord Mayor of London hosts a banquet which is attended by the Prime Minister, who usually gives a speech on world affairs. King Charles III held his coronation banquet in the Great Hall, as have many newly crowned monarchs before him. In 1781, the Guildhall also bore witness to the Zong trial. The purpose of this trial was to determine whether the owners of a ship which was transporting enslaved African people from the African Atlantic coast of what is now modern-day Ghana to Jamaica should receive insurance compensation for the deaths of 130 of them, known widely today as the Zong Massacre. According to the crew, when the ship ran low on drinking water following navigational mistakes, the enslaved people were thrown overboard to their deaths. At this trial, the jury found in favour of the owners under an established protocol in maritime insurance that considered enslaved African people equivalent to cargo or chattel. However, it brought to public consciousness the barbarity and inhumanity of the British Atlantic slave trade and contributed to its eventual abolishment. The walls of the Guildhall are lined with monuments and statues of varying sizes and colours, their faces staring out at me from the perimeter. The first statue that I encounter as I head along the north wall, to the left as I entered, commemorates Winston Churchill. Made of brass, he's seated in a chair, shoulders hunched, his brow creased into a deep, thoughtful frown. To the right of Churchill is a monument to Admiral Horatio Nelson. It's an elaborate feat of marble. A life-size representation of Britannia stares down at a medallion with Nelson's head at its centre. Neptune reclines with a trident across his arm, and carved into the base of the monument is a naval fleet engaged in battle. Next is a larger-than-life Arthur Wellesley, the first Duke of Wellington. He looms high in white marble, a cape rippling over his broad shoulders. The final statue on the north wall is William Pitt the Elder, Prime Minister of Britain from 1766 to 68. At the top, Pitt leans on a rudder, the emblem of his office. He has 3 youthful women surrounding him. A female representation of the City of London gazes up at him. Trade sidles up next to him, sheltering under his protection, and Britannia sits at his feet, stroking a mighty lion's head. On the south wall, opposite his father, is Pitt the Younger, with an equally busy monument. He too is surrounded by allegorical women. A long inscription on the plinth states that he devoted himself from his early years to the service of the state. Next to Pitt the Younger is William Beckford. You can listen to a more detailed description of Beckford in one of the 2 other audio descriptions available at the Guildhall. Further along the south wall, to the right of an elaborately carved wooden doorway that leads out of the hall, is another memorial, not to one man, but to many. It's a memorial to soldiers of the Royal Fusiliers. To its left is a female figure who places a palm branch over a central panel, which lists the names of soldiers who died during the Boer War. To the right is a private of the regiment dressed in full uniform. All the men memorialised in the Guildhall are lavishly commemorated, but they only tell a narrow tale of the history of the city. Today, we seek to ensure that London's diverse communities are properly recognised as a part of its long and troubled history. There is more information available online via a QR code. This is located on the bottom right of the plaque.